Prabhakar. He's hit it in the air and he's brilliantly caught. Mark Taylor pulls it in just in front of cover point. What a sensational catch by Mark Taylor. The Australian fielding is high class in both Test cricket and in one-day cricket, and that was an example of it there. Prabhakar is out for 7. Peter Sharp.
Well, a real blow for India, because Prabhakar is one of their players who really does play very freely indeed, and that was a superb catch by Taylor. Look at him, he was judging it absolutely perfectly as he leapt skyward. And good luck for Australia, good bowling from Hughes, and very bad luck for Prabhakar in India.
The score is 12 for 1. The new batsman for India is Sanjay Manjrekar, out because of the fall of Manoj Prabhakar. Caught, and very well caught, by Mark Taylor. Mark Taylor, usually a slip fieldsman, in the covers today because Dean Jones, the usual cover fieldsman for Australia, is having a day off today. And Mark Taylor is quite a bulky man, showing a good deal of agility there to time his leap and pull in a fine catch.
Yes, he picked it up very well indeed, and he's not a tall man either. And so it was just bad luck for Prabhakar that he wasn't able to get it just a shade higher, but Taylor doing his work expertly.
Nicely played by Rahman away through the leg side field. The chase on here for David Boone. The outfield is very fast. It's well chased, well saved by Boone. And it's 3 runs for Rahman. Here's Manjrekar facing Terry Alderman. Steered away through the gully, but there's a third man in. Merv Hughes has got a run around the boundary. And it's 2 runs for Manjrekar. Doubles his score. He's 4. 19 for 1 in the 7th, and Merv has got his fan club up and running early on at Seddon Park today. Here comes Hughes bowling to Rahman. That's beautifully played, but David Boone makes a spectacular stop. It's just on the outside of the wicket block, and there's a bit of loose soil there. David Boone, who may in fact wear contact lenses. I saw him wearing glasses last night, and he may wear lenses to play cricket, and he might have got a speck or 2 in behind the lenses if he wears them. Marvellous stop again. This time it's Peter Taylor. Square leg.
Manjrekar is at the non-striker's end, and it's Campbell bowling to Rahman now. That's beautifully driven. That's a lovely stroke. That's the shot of the morning so far. It was up there for Rahman, and he went straight through it and put it away to the fence.
Yes, I think on replay we'll see how he strokes this one, just effortlessly, and you kept his head very still. See the poise and control there, just through the line of the shot.
This one's got through, and they might get 2 here. The chasing done by Mark Taylor, and just pushed into the gap, and it's a pretty quick outfield, and 2 runs for Manjrekar.
It's hit over the top of extra cover. That should race away for 4. Good bold shot from Rahman.
Yes, well played, Rahman. The field's still up, and Rahman decides to go over the top. And really, with the wicket the way it is, one would imagine we would see a bit of that today. Difficult wicket to hit hard forward of the wicket along the ground, and he played that very well.
Simon O'Donnell bowling to Manjrekar. He hits it in the air, but he finds the gap on the leg side. Big chase on here for Jeff Marsh down towards the boundary. Wasn't that well timed by Manjrekar. Just the odd sign of desperation now coming into the Indian batting as they look to increase the rate. Manjrekar got away with it though. Down to third man, and Merv Hughes will do the fielding down there. Now the ball bobbled a bit. There was a slight misfield by Merv. We shouldn't blame him too much, I don't think, because the ball was not running particularly smoothly across the outfield. The Indian 50 is up, and that's 51 for 1 at the end of 19.
And he goes over the top this time. That's a good hit. And it's 4 runs. So that elusive first boundary has come for Manjrekar with a bold hit out over long off.
And that's exactly what he's got to do, and what India seemingly has been unprepared to do up till now. Coming forward, hitting the ball down over the inner field and back out to the boundary at long off. So it was a good hit. He didn't hit it quite as well in the middle of the bat as he'd like.
Rahman drives powerfully. That's a lovely on drive. And O'Donnell proving expensive in this over as the Indian batsmen pick up the pace. And 4 runs.
Oh, that was a very good shot from Rahman. He showed a great deal of skill outside the offside, but that was a lovely on drive, just coming through, hitting the ball beautifully. There was no mid-on, or no mid-on straight enough to be able to pick that one up, and so it raced to the boundary. So a lovely shot from Wikiri Rahman.
So the left armer Border bowling to the left-hander Rahman. And over the top goes Rahman with a good hit. 4 runs down to long off.
Well played, India. Well played, Rahman.
And it's Peter Taylor to bowl the 26th over. With Rahman racing. It's short, a bit wide. He's played that well. That'll race off to the boundary line for 4. With the off-spinner on, there's no third man in. And that was really a free hit for Wikiri Rahman. Takes him into the 40s. He's 43. Good shot this, John.
Yes, very good shot. Not a good ball. It just gave him a little bit of room, and it was a shade short. No one out on the boundary, squarish.
Good shot by Rahman, and that's 6. A good clean hit down the ground, and that's 49 now for Wikiri Rahman.
That was well hit. It was hit straight and hard. It was in the slot there, but all credit to Rahman. He hit it hard. This wicket is slow, but the Indians are used to playing on slow wickets, and Australia just seem to be caught in 2 minds out here.
More runs again as he finds the gap down through mid-off. And that's 50 for Wikiri Rahman. 91 for 1.
There's good straight hitting there. 3 boundaries down the ground. A couple of shots square of the wicket on the leg side.
Alan Border starting a new over to Sanjay Mandraker. Bit of a mix-up here and he's run out. That communication then was really very bad. It was Rahman's fault because coming from the non-striker's end, he should have made the call. Mandraker wanted the single. The communication just was not there, and that's tragedy for India. Bad mistake, this.
Yes, good little dab, and there should have been one. Rahman should have been racing through, but poor old Mandraker, he got sent back. He's not even in the picture, but disastrous, really. And just as the Indians seem to get into good nick, disaster strikes.
92 for 2. The new batsman for India, their captain Mohammad Azharuddin, coming in at number 4, but coming in the 27th over, which raises the interesting point of how high up in the order should a player of this class bat in a one-day international. Rahman sweeping, and that's gone for 4. It's too fine for the man down at backward square leg. It's well played. A loose delivery there from Peter Taylor. Peter Taylor going for 5 and over. This is his 5th over. None for 25 at the moment. 108 for 2 is the Indian score. Appeal for a catch at the wickets, and he's out. Rahman walked. Must have been a big nick on that one. Healy standing up to the wicket takes the catch, and Rahman is out for 58. It's 108 for 3.
Yes, well, Rahman trying to hit this away off the back foot, and Healy a big appeal. The umpire didn't seem too interested to start with, but Rahman actually walked. That prompted the finger to go up.
Good innings from Wikiri Rahman today. 58 from 86 deliveries, 7 fours and 1 6. Rahman out for 58. It's 108 for 3. And the new batsman out for India will be Vijay Chandrasekhar. Nicely worked around the corner. So it'll be the first run for Vijay Chandrasekhar. He's won. It's 109 for 3.
Again, he's chipped it in the air, and he'll be out this time. He is. Caught by Alan Border. The simplest of catches for the Australian skipper. Taylor strikes again. Chandrasekhar is out for 3, and it's 114 for 4. And Gusharan Singh has joined his skipper, Azharuddin. And Gasharan will take strike immediately to the new over from Alan Border. Oh, caught behind, is he? Everybody thinks so, except the umpire. 15 overs remaining. Taylor bowling to Gershon. Oh, LBW appeal, he's gone. Went back, was trapped in front. And Gasharan Singh is out. LBW to Peter Taylor. It's 123 for 5. So away goes Gasharan Singh. And he will be replaced by Kapil Dev.
Alan Border, his 9th over. And just wide of the short extra cover. Beautifully struck by Azharuddin. And this could be over the top.
Yes, you're right. It could have been out, but he hit it a bit well for that, didn't he? Look, just moving down, getting his feet outside so that he could get plenty of rhythm into his swing. And what a magnificent full, fluent follow-through from Mohammad Azharuddin. Down the pitch and crack. That ball stayed hit.
Oh, a cracking shot by Kapil Dev. And, well, almost got it. He had a couple of bites at the cherry, but that was so well timed by Kapil.
And 6 overs to go. The Indian run rate at 3.5. And it's going to be Simon O'Donnell with Kapil Dev in strike. So that's a good strong hit. And it's 4. Mark Taylor tried his best to get to it, but he's got a lot of ground to protect out there. And Kapil Dev hitting it wide of the man sweeping on the mid-wicket fence and picks up a 4. Kapil launches into a beautiful cover drive. That's away to the fence for 4. Murphy is just a bit full with his first delivery of a new spell, and that was well hit by Kapil Dev. Beautifully played. What a super shot. O'Donnell didn't move. That was through the gap between deep mid-off and extra cover. Those two men inside the circle. So it's 9 off the over so far. 174 for 5. Shot for LBW, and he's out. Roger McCarg signals the end of Mohammad Azharuddin's innings, out for 37. And Murph Hughes gets the final say.
Well, this is the leg spinner, change of pace, hits him in line with about leg stump. Reasonably onside-ish, but the lack of pace doing Azhar there. Just walking across a little far and unable to play it.
New batsman for India is Ajay Sharma. Pressure on O'Donnell then as he bowls to Kapil Dev. Kapil Dev launches again. He's hit it in the air, but the ball's fallen safely. And in fact, he's picked up 4 as he found the gap between the two men deep on the offside. One came around from the point boundary, one came around from the third man boundary. That's well placed by Kapil Dev. Well, that's a very big hit. Right over the top, and that's 6 over the line and over the fence. Kapil Dev doing a top job for India here. He's 37, 186 for 6, and that's 10 off 2 balls in the over.
That's a huge hit in the air, but it's a catch out towards Campbell. And well held by Greg Campbell. It was a mile up. And Campbell had to judge it right. He did that. And that is the end of Ajay Sharma up for 7. It's 194 for 7.
And More has come in, more and more.
Much more orthodox shot there.
And just the single.
Which brings up the 200. So India have reached 200 in the 49th over. 200 for 7. And the run rate is now crept up over the 4 mark. Moray away again. Boone will have a shot at the stumps and hits them, and he's run out by the proverbial mile. Good work by Boone, and Moray leaves. Umpire didn't even bother to make the decision. It was made for him, really. Moray knew that he was out.
It's the sort of chance you take in the closing stages, isn't it, of a one-innings match? And Boone widened the... Oh, he was nowhere.
So there's Adel Wasson, who's shown us a few times on this tour that he can bat. Last ball of the innings. Hughes bowling to Wasson. And he slams it away. That's a good hit. 4 runs to Wasson.
Oh, that was 4 runs, wasn't it? I mean, it was a wonderful stroke. Well, it's taken it to 211, so the target is 212. And Wasson looks as though he's the coolest man in the world. He's been doing it for years, this sort of thing.
So
but just watch this. I mean, he gave himself a bit of room, and whoa, that was hit as hard as anything we've seen all day.
There's Taylor off his stump here. It must be. Well, Moray made a big hash of it. Finally, he managed to smash the stumps and get the stumping. I suspect Taylor was going to carry on walking. So Moray, who made a real mess of it, finally gets a stumping and the first wicket falls.
It was extraordinary, wasn't it? I mean, Taylor was a mile down the wicket. Yes, he got it there in the end. I mean, so, he really was stumped by a country mile, wasn't he?
And Mark Taylor leaves the arena after this dismissal. As Steve Waugh comes out to bat.
Lovely drive by Marsh. Perfect placement. Through extra cover, his 8th boundary, so that's kept them up with a strike rate. 54, 1 for 121.
Yes, lovely shot. Over pitch from Sharma, and Jeff Marsh was quickly there. And he just bisected these 2 fieldsmen.
Sharma to Waugh. And beautifully struck by Waugh. What a clean hit. 1 bounce over the line. He's to 7, 1 for 128.
Yes, he hit this one very square. The man out deep is too fine for it. But he got down on one knee. It looked a little too far up to sweep, but he hit it very cleanly.
No one down there. Sensible play by Marsh. Smooth hitting. Close to a 6. A boundary instead. 1 for 135. The 9th boundary to Jeff Marsh.
Yes, good clean hitting from Jeff Marsh. He went into the shot. There's no one deep. And that, in fact, the shot has brought up Marsh's 3,000 runs in 63 games in one-day cricket.
We've got plenty of fans here. Well, that's a good shot. Swept away for 4. That really was beautifully hit. Just a little ripple of applause around the ground. But surely they must have been impressed by that shot, Peter.
That really was a very good shot indeed, and that brings up the 3,000 runs for Jeff Marsh in one-day internationals. And in fact, it might well have been that he's going to get it a little earlier, because there was a 4 he hit earlier, which I think is going to be corrected to be a 6, signalled 6, but we're waiting for that. But Marsh playing beautifully at the moment. He really has moved into very good form indeed. In fact, it's ominous for the finals this weekend, and also for the test match starting in Wellington next Thursday, that Marsh can come into such good form, and they've got time to get Waugh into form too, so they're using this lead-up games pretty well, aren't they, the Australians?
It's 147 for 1. They won his figures, taking a little bit of a pasting in that over, with 7 runs coming from it. He's got none for 22 off 9, 147 for 1. Waugh sweeping, and sweeping well. That's beaten the men out on the boundary on the leg side. Down on one knee, Steve Waugh went just in front of square. That's a good shot. So Waugh's 20, his 2nd boundary, 153 for 1.
It's the second one he's played like that, and he played the previous one square too. I'd have thought that they might have corrected that and brought the field around. I look at Azharuddin now, and he is shifting mid-wicket round a little bit, so that Waugh has played those 2 fine sweep shots.
Oh, that's lobbed into the air, and Steve Waugh is out. Prabhakar takes the catch, leading edge, very simple catch, and Steve Waugh completely mistiming that shot, and just putting it away, popping it up into the leg side, and Waugh is out today for 23. Hewani has his first wicket. That certainly deserved. 158 for 2. And which way did this one spin when it landed?
Yes, it went away from him, and he was trying to turn the ball on the onside down fine, where they'd had a couple of runs earlier. And when he saw it running away from him a bit further, he made an involuntary jab at it, which meant that the bat had the front edge take the ball, hit it directly to mid-wicket, and bad luck for Steve Waugh. He was just starting to come into some lovely form. Now Boone's coming in, and so the pressure really isn't off for India, but having taken that wicket, it does give them the chance to be able to set back the Australians a bit more. So a wrong from Hirwani, which meant that it spun further away from Waugh, so he jabbed at it, and in the event, instead of getting it from the angled middle of the bat, it came from the leading edge, which was sufficient to carry it straight to Prabhakar, and Waugh's on his way. Now, in normal situation, I think if he'd picked it as a wrong, and he probably put one foot down the pitch and tried to sweep it. So maybe he didn't pick it. Maybe that'd have been the fault. You see, he's looking round to try and get that turn down to long leg, and just nibbling the ball down for a couple, perhaps. They might have even had 3, but in the event it ran further away from him, he stabbed for it, and instead of playing it with a cross bat, he played it with a straight bat. The leading edge had it down to Prabhakar. I think the Indians have just bowled a little bit too slow. The slow bowlers have anyway. A little bit too short, rather.
Well, that's a monstrous hit. That's almost out of the ground. Jeff Marsh goes to 75. What a big hit. 166 for 2. Might be a bit of a while before they get that one back off Stetton Road. I think it's gone right over the hedge and out onto the road.
Well, it certainly was an enormous hit by Jeff Marsh. He just climbed into it. He saw it there momentarily, and then just it was an enormous, real belt through the ball. Beautiful timing, and taking it all the way over to the mid-wicket boundary, and then on and on. It was really a very, very strong hit.
Nicely played by Boone, past the sprawling Kapil Dev, and the ball is trickling on its way down to the fence. Well, once it was past Kapil Dev, it didn't have a lot of speed on, but once it went past him, it was on its way to the fence for 4 runs. So Boone has his first boundary.
This one just being dragged down, a little short, reasonably close in, but bouncing high enough for Boone to play that little dab down. Very delicate and fine enough to elude Kapil Dev and a short third man.
The Australians have had a high proportion of boundaries today. 21, in fact. 10 of those have been hit by Jeff Marsh. David Boone's just arrived. Australia looking comfortable here at 170 for 2. Sharma. Boone this time sweeping fine. He's got a bit of wood on this one. Heading down to the fence, and that's 4 more. Well, I was waiting, possibly like you were, to see whether a fieldsman would appear, but there was none there. And Boone has another one.
Well, Hirwani was there, but he was a little bit too square. And Boone, although this was a tight line to sweep, he managed to get it round fine enough to go for 4. So let's have a look at the worm. Tells the tale. Very few wickets down, of course, for Australia, and comfortably ahead of the asking rate.
David Boone hitting the ball well, and that's away for 4 more. Gusharan Singh couldn't get around to it. Shots like that certainly lower the odds of Jeff Marsh getting to 100. But that's a fine shot from David Boone. He's 18, and it's 195 for 2.
I think one's got to say that India, having got to 211, had certainly a chance on a pitch which was spinning, but they've not helped themselves. They have really bowled too many bad balls.
Out through the covers. There's nobody sweeping deep on the boundary. That should run away to the boundary line for 4 more. David Boone goes to 24, and that's the Australian 200 up. 202 for 2.
Well, there he is, the very thoughtful Indian cricket manager, Bishan Bedi. But what a lovely stroke it was. I mean, the ball was there to be hit, and Boone has timed it beautifully since he came in.
It's hit in the air. Gusharan Singh's lining it up, and Jeff Marsh is out. Gusharan Singh takes the catch. Bonus wicket for India. 203 for 3. So it's a case now of just 9 runs needed. And the end of a fine hand played by Jeff Marsh. Back into form today. up through to 86. Kapildev has his first wicket in the 47th over.
Well, bad luck on Jeff Marsh not to get his 8th one-day 100. He's been a marvellously consistent player in this form of cricket. He did wonderfully well today. He hasn't been in the greatest of form in a season which has seen him out for periods with 2 broken bones, once in a hand, once in a foot. He's happy enough, yes. They know they've won Australia. They know they've got to the finals now. This has been not at all a bad pitch.
Alan Border wants to get it over and done with quickly, and that's 6. Great hit. The scores are tied. Alan Border wants to get on the bus to Auckland. I think the way he's attacking will carry Rahman. Here's Rahman to Alan Border. This time he makes no mistake. He's hit it high. There's no fieldsman out on the deep. It'll fall safely. They walk through for the single.